Alright, everyone. Welcome back to Midwest DBS, and we're just going to do a quick deck profile over, well, a leader everyone hates. But the reason I want to go over it is because the way this deck has always been evolving to meet the current meta. Started out just basically blue, then it kind of became a blue-yellow, and then after that it became the tricolor guy. And I think going forward, as long as the field remains as aggro as it is with decks like U6 Broly, U6 Kaba, Broly, Red Yellow, Broly Apes. As long as you have super aggressive decks, this deck will always try to evolve to fight those aggressive decks. And I think the current way to do it is just be in blue and red, and I'll show you why. So, leader's basic. You can swing at any battle card. Your opponent has to mill the top two. It's a generically all-around good leader because it has its win con built in. You also draw a card when you attack. Flip side, when you flip, you get a restand 2 energy, and it does the same thing. When it attacks any card, they have to mill 2, but it also has a nice auto, which is basically a build-in negate, and you have to drop a card from your hand to do so. So it's really defensive leader. And it's blue, which helps. We're going to start off with the Geneva Package at first. We do 2 Rocking Out Psyche Demons. Just 2. It comes out, finds a top 7, finds a Geneva, but pretty self-explanatory. And either you're going to evolve your Childish Heart onto it, or even if you don't, it can sit out there for combo power later to be defensive. Childish Heart is a lot of times what you're looking for with your Psyche Demon, so you can evolve onto a. If you need to get a Janemba out early, you can do it on turn 3 because you can play Psyche Demon turn 1, turn 2 evolve Childish Heart, turn 3 activate that, and then go search your deck for a Janemba, and it goes into warp and then into play. Geneva Package is one of these. This card is really good because it has Deflect. Deflect is super important right now as well. So you're still going to want one of these. It gets a great cost reduction if your opponent has 4 more battle cards and you have none. And it basically allows you to play it for 1. So there are times when that happens. It's also critical. Other Janemba is, I just like Demon Sword a lot. Also because it has Deflect, it'll mill 2, and then it also will warp an opponent's battle cards. So, like, this deck needs to be able to deal with threats, and this is pretty much your go-to to dealing with threats. The other one, this used to be at 3, now it's at 2. Main reason why is that it doesn't have Deflect, and everyone's running all kinds of counterplays right now. So, but this card is still very good when you find your opponent without 2 energy up with the counterplay. You're gonna want to go for this guy. He does mill 3. He is critical. He basically lets you. You can activate main, and you can send the card. You can send it to your warp, and you can draw a card, and then that's when your opponent actually mills the 3. And then also, at the end of your turn, you get to choose one of your energy and switch to active mode. That's your auto. So you don't have to activate the main. So you can swing, stand back in energy, and if you think you can keep him around, you don't have to activate the main. But a lot of times you're swinging in and activating the main after your swing to get the mill 3 effect. Now we're going to go on some of the Agro Package and the red. Kaba is good, helps you self-awaken, and it's also double strike. So this will help you get to a lot of decks in it that are slower, because I think this blue-red variation might be better at beating Shenron than the old version just because you have Kaba. Kaba can put on pressure on Shenron, and it also can pressure the mirror match if they're not in blue-red. It helps self-awaken, double strike. It's been around since set 1. It's just a good card. Also, combo power later, which I'll show you. Another one is Awakening Talent Pan. This is another self-awakener. The only difference, she doesn't have double strike, but she does go back to your hand at the end of turn. So she doesn't sit on the board where your opponent can kill her. So she can swing, she'll bounce back, she'll swing again, and she doesn't sit there. So your opponent will have trouble killing her. And it's good to have a card like this because it can help you self-awaken as well. One Digging Deep Vegeta is also one of your self-awakeners. Basically, you can swing with him, and then you can take 2 life to restand him, and he gets a plus 5k power for the duration of turn, and he can swing again. So you can see up to 2 cards if you want. So he's also another self-awakener, and he also helps you get aggro in the matchups where you need to get aggro. Double Strike, pretty simple. You can put it on one of your crit Janembas. You can throw it on your Waking Talent Pains. You can throw it on your Digging Deeps. I mean, there's other cards in here you can throw it on. But when you're really trying to push and end a game quickly, I got one of these. It's also red, which is relevant. One of, just because, it helps you push plays. And since this Geneva deck can be a little bit more aggressive than other Geneva decks, it's more relevant in this style of deck because you combo with it. And it's a blue combo. You get to untap an energy. Because the idea is I'll show you later in the deck, you're wanting to combo blue and a red for one of the new cards. Your pseudo super combo is Unbreakable, Super Saiyan Son Goku. It's pretty much staple in Janemba. You pay 1, you get 10 combo, you draw a card. It's good to be defensive with. It can also make your guys big enough when you're swinging in to actually deal some damage. Super combos, 3 and 1. 3, traditional super combo is good. Just helps you draw a card. It doesn't matter. You always get the 0 plus 10k, and then if you have 4 or less life, you get to draw a card. Now, the other super combo is this guy. He hasn't been seen in a bit, but with all the U6 and apes and all this stuff running around, it's more relevant because basically the way it reads, I'll just read it to you. When you combo with this card, if your leader card is blue and your life's at 4 or less, this card gains 10,000 combo power for the duration of turn. Then choose up to 1 card in your opponent's combo area and return it to its owner's hand. If there are no cards in your opponent's combo area, draw a card. So it can draw a card if they only combo out a card, like they might swing in something and bring in their, I can't remember her name. It's either the Kel or Khalifa that are both, they basically combo out and it evolves onto it, and one's crit, one's double strike. It can bring that back to their hand. If they combo out an ape, it can bring that ape back to their hand, and it just can slow them down quite a bit. And this is just good. We're going to go into some negates. This deck also plays a little bit more negates. This negate's actually pretty good in the deck because you negate early and it sits out to combo later to defend your leader. You're blue. So you're definitely playing 4-dimension magic, just great blue negate. If you're tapped out, you can take a life to use it on restand 2 energy. If you're not, you can just play it and still restand 2 energy. It's just, if you're in blue, you're probably running this as a negate if you're running negates. Next, which really helps shore up the aggro matchup. Toppo, Righteous Aid. Basically on your turn, it'll cost you a red and a colorless. And then it can, it's a counter attack, so it'll negate the attack. And basically, what happens is it kind of shuts down your opponent's turn, because what happens if they want to swing in and battle again after this comes down, they have to discard 2 cards to do so. So you're going to have to neg real hard to fight through Toppo. And Toppo's really a linchpin in this deck because it comes out and negates the attack. If you want, you can swing down a battle cards with it on the next turn, so it can deal with an attack and kill a battle card, or you can leave it up for combo power for another card I'll show you. It's kind of linchpin against aggro because I have another card in here which basically helps, let's use this card multiple times. Kind of like a Nimbus effect. Sensu Bean, because, oh, there's one more. Sensu Bean, because Sensu Bean. Generally, if you're running blue, you're running Sensu Bean. Good for defense, good for pushing plays, because this variation of Geneva can get a little bit more aggro. Sometimes you use it to push plays, it's just not defense. So it's just an all-around good card. Counterplay, Ultra Instinct. Card's really good. It can counterplay, it can counterattack. And basically when it comes in, you choose up to your opponent's battle cards, you ignore Barry, and you return to your hand, you draw a card. And they can't stop it because this card's skills can't be negated. Well, they can stop it with the Cold Bloodlust, but or Frost Deadly Poison. But beyond that, they're not stopping this effect from going off. And this will buy you turns against if they get to the point where they're dropping big bombs. This is really important because it can just bounce anyone back to your hand. Only problem is it taps. You have to tap 4 to do it, which can be an issue because it does tap you out. But I run some ways to get around that. Just if your Zeno button is one of the ways. A Zeno button untaps all your blue energy, so it's a counterattack. So sometimes if you have to tap out on turns, this will just restand all your blue energy and allow you to be really, really defensive. Because sometimes when you tap out on this, your opponent still might have other plays to follow up that could be detrimental to you. So if you can have a Zeno button in your hand afterwards, you get to stand back pretty much almost all that energy, and then have your combo power open for the ones you actually have to pay for combo power, which there are some. I mean, you have the pseudo super combo, and there's a couple others in there that you have to pay 1-2 combo with, and I'll show you this one. So I got 3 of these in here right now. This is one of the new draft box card as well, Hercule and Boo, best friends, BFFs forever. So it costs 1 to combo with, and what you want to do with this is a rival with the blue. Reason being is because this really helps this deck a lot. If they have an annoying card on their side, like a Kaba or a Intensifying Power Trunks or Crit Krillin or just another 10k, basically you can pop a card with this card. It gives it minus 10k for the duration of turn. Then, then at the end of turn, you get to choose up to one of your red or blue battle cards and return it to your hand. So, red or blue cards that you can return to your hand. I mean, there's a lot. This you can return to your hand to replay again, which is good. But the main reason why is you want to return this because you can negate. It goes to their turn. You combo in. You combo. Bring this out with the rival. Bringing this back, ready to use again to just shut down. So you're trying to loop these topos as much as possible just to shut down turns. Because the longer you can shut down turns, the better it plays into your end game, which is either mill or, like this deck, can just finish you off with Kabas and just Digging Deep Vegetas, and it can just get kind of aggressive. And this is one of the reasons, too. This is just generically good overwhelm card. You're not worried about sparking, so this is just, you can just use this. And basically, as long as you have 4 in your drop, this costs you nothing. It's a 20k, and when it comes out, you get to draw 2 cards, and you choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your drop. So this just allows you to push plays even further. Last defensive card is Common Global Unifier. It's 1 in the main because I don't think you need much more in the main. I feel safer having 1, but because a lot of times you are just allowed to grind them out with topos. So, but one of this is usually generally pretty important to have. So that's it. I just want to go over the new blue-red variation that people might see because I think it is more relevant in the meta right now with all the aggro. And like I said, I did not play this at locals, but I still want to show it to you guys. Because I generally stay away from playing Janemba at locals just because it frustrates a lot of players to play this. And plus, also, I play test with it a lot. I'm not going to say I don't play it. But at our locals, sometimes, especially now that I'm doing this channel, I'm trying to do new decks every week that I run myself. So, I mean, I might run this sometime if I run out of decks to run. But that's pretty much it. So, that's all I got for you. Thanks.